And joining me now on the phone is none other than actress and singer Clare Grogan, who played Susan in Gregory's Girl. Clare, thanks for joining us on this special 35-year anniversary show.
Well, thank you for doing the special anniversary show.
Can you believe that though? 35 years. That's scary, isn't it?
It is a bit scary, and actually people kind of fall out with me when I tell them how long ago it was, because I think it kind of makes us all feel a bit old.
I was scared to even bring it up. Now, listen, for those who don't know, tell us about your introduction to Gregory's Girl and how you first met Bill. We all know you were working as a waitress.
Yeah, not in a cocktail
bar.
In a pasta restaurant in Glasgow called the Spaghetti Factory, and Bill was quite a regular because he lived nearby. And, you know, just one night when he was leaving, he said, I'm going to make a film this summer, and I'd really like you to be in it. And like any well brought up young girl, I refused to give him a phone number. And I said, well, because he did ask me, and I said, well, you know where I am. If it happens, you can contact me here. And several months later, he did contact me, and I shall be eternally grateful to Bill Forsyth for doing that. But yeah, no, at first I just wasn't going to hand over my phone number.
Well, that's understandable. What are your favourite memories of working in the film? Do you have any sort of anecdotes or funny stories you can share with us?
You know, I mean, it's so weird, and I hope that people understand this. When we were doing it, the whole experience was amazing in that we were all getting the opportunity to do something that we loved doing, which was act. You know, everyone involved, Dee, Gordon, Caroline, Rab, I mean, we were all absolutely, and everyone else, passionate about, you know, being actors. But none of us really knew how that was going to pan out for us or how that was going to work. So just to be given this opportunity at such an early point was amazing. But I suppose in a weird way we were a wee bit blasé about it, because when you're young and you're given an opportunity like that, you're not quite sure how you should react to it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're a bit like, is this really happening? And you're trying to be a bit cool about it. But for me, the most amazing thing has just been the fact that it's followed me around in life forever. And I feel like everywhere I go, and I know it sounds a bit corny, I feel like I've got friends everywhere I go in life, because I'm lucky enough to travel around for work and adventure, and everywhere I go across the world, somebody will say to me, tell me something about Gregory's Girl, and I just think that's a gift to have in life.
Why do you think the film was such a success internationally? Because, I mean, it was big across the world.
Yeah, I mean, it was massive in lots and lots of territories, and I think it just struck a chord with people, and I think that we had the opportunity to see it not that long ago. In fact, I saw it for the very first time in its entirety with my daughter Ellie and Gordon and his family, and Dee and her family, because they had a screening of it at the British Film Institute at the South Bank in London. And because I was so, I mean, I'm never completely detached from it, because, as I say, it follows me around in life. But it was actually really and truly the first time I sat down and watched it.
Wow.
And so it gave me a chance to think, what? It was a bit of a relief that I liked it.
I bet it was.
Could have been a terrible disaster.
Why did you wait so long? Do you know?
Oh, just, you know, it just, I mean, I think a lot of performers never like to watch themselves, and it went on for so long that eventually I thought, I just can't. I mean, I saw the first 15 minutes quite a lot, because I've had to host and be part of quite a lot of screenings of it, but I never got beyond the first 15 minutes. So, and I just kind of thought, it's such a human story. It's just all of us can relate to it. You know, we all know a sort of Gregory in our life, and you know, you're just willing him to make it work.
Of course.
I think there's just something really, something that we can all connect with there, because we're all vulnerable. We all sometimes don't feel like we're getting things right. We're all just kind of messing around in life, hoping for the best most of the time.
I heard a rumour that you and John Gordon Sinclair had to drink some Dutch courage, shall we say, before the kissing scene. Is that true?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think, yeah. And no offence to Gordon. It was kissing in front of an audience is quite weird, even although it's a professional audience. There's something quite odd about having to do that, particularly being so young.
Being so young,
and
yeah.
I didn't have an awful lot of snogging experience under my belt, believe it or not, even at that age. So it was kind of terrifying, but we got through it. In fact, our kids at the screening were like, "You and Gordon are kissing, what are you doing?" It's like we were acting. It was a professional thing.
How long did you know Gordon before the film?
I didn't. I mean, I met him just before we made the movie. I met him in Pollock Park in Glasgow with Bill. And it's fantastic to still have him as a friend. It really genuinely is. I mean, we take the mickey out of each other non-stop, but he's always going to be a big part of my life.
Now, you must get asked this all the time, but do you have an ultimate favourite line from the film?
There's so many of them, and that's the thing when I watched it, and I'm not just saying this, when I watched the movie, there's just so many funny, really laugh out loud lines in it. Don't ask me to quote any of them. I'm in a constant state of fuzzy mummy brain, I really am. But the one that people ask me to quote to them the most is, I get really nice women contacting me and saying, "It's my husband's birthday, could you just send me a voice clip of you saying, 'Good night, Mr. Spaceman'?" So I get quite a lot of that, as well as all the happy birthday requests. But, there's so many good lines in it. I mean, actually, I really and truly, my favourite scene though is when his dad nearly knocks him down.
Oh yes.
When he's doing the driving lesson.
Yeah.
And he's trying to arrange an appointment for them all to get together over breakfast at home. I really loved that. I just made me laugh so much. I think we can all as parents can relate to that one.
We can all relate to it. Now, did you? Chick Murray was in the film. Were you aware of how popular Chick was at that time, and did you get to spend any time with him? Yeah, I mean, Chick.
I became very aware of just how completely iconic he was, and he is a bit of a legend, the guy. I was totally terrified of him. But he kind of roped me into, being a sidekick a little bit. And I had no option to go along with it. So, he was tricky.
Tricky?
He was amazing. Yeah, definitely a bit tricky, but he was amazing as well. I think it was just, I was so young. I mean, I wasn't some kind of savvy, together teenage movie star. Mm-hmm. I was a schoolgirl who got very, very lucky.
Now, you more or less immediately after the success of Gregory's Girl, your music career took off with Altered Images.
Yeah.
And I have friends who are grown men now who cried themselves to sleep over you. How did you deal with the fame and the attention at that time?
I mean, it was pretty intense and crazy, and I think for a while it, also I think we've probably been brought up in a similar way where it's not, don't take yourself too seriously, and being able to laugh at yourself a bit and a bit of a get over yourself. But I did find it really odd. I mean, I literally was the girl who couldn't go out on a date. Couldn't get anyone to ask me out, and yet suddenly this happened to me, and it was weird, but
wow.
I mean, I wouldn't swap any of it.
That's incredible. My son went to the school that they made the movie, which just sadly got knocked down recently.
Yeah, Adrian Hill, hi. Yeah.
And I thought, if they're going to make houses, wouldn't it be great if they made like little schemes like Gregory Avenue, and I thought that would be a nice touch. So you never know what might happen. But before you go, Claire, quickly tell us your Martin Scorsese story.
Oh, my Martin Scorsese story. It is a good story, isn't it?
It's a cracker.
A few years ago, it was probably about 10 years ago, I took my mum and my two aunties, my Aunt Betty, my Aunt Emma, to New York with my sister Katie. And we did all that New York stuff, and I'd booked us a table at the Tribeca Bar and Grill, which is a restaurant that's owned by Robert De Niro. Oh. So we went there, a terrible name dropper, I don't know. And there was like this really old school waiter. I mean, the waiter must have been about 70, and he just took a real shine to my mum and my aunts, which kind of made the evening. And as you know what it's like, so they were all chat, and he was going, Martin Scorsese has his offices above the restaurant, and my aunt and my mum were going, Claire's in the movie industry, and I was like, shh, stop it, please don't give this to me. So, the next thing we find ourselves upstairs having a sort of private tour of Martin Scorsese's office and private cinema.
Oh,
and the waiter introduced me to the cinema manager, and he said, "Oh, but maybe we've seen some of your movies, Claire. What have you been in?" And I said, the one that everyone knows is a film called Gregory's Girl." And he was like, "Oh my God, that is Marty's favorite British movie."
Oh, wow.
So I said, well, I'll just happily leave my CV here for Martin.
Just in case. Claire, I really appreciate you coming on to celebrate this 35-year anniversary. We're so happy to have you, because we can't have a Gregory's Girl documentary without having Susan on it. So thanks very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for asking me.
Cheers.
Thanks
now.
a lot.
Bye, Claire. Bye.
Bye. Take care.